What? Hi folks, recently I was reading this little nugget here. This is called Pustinia by Catherine de Hewick Doherty. She goes after silence, and I wanted to talk about that today. And of course, everyone says, oh sure, we've no silence at all in the world anymore. It's all noise. It's all people and their things and their devices. If I hear one more priest give a homily at some event or other, usually mass, where he's giving out, the people of today, the young people, they're stuck in their devices. It's not just the young people, everybody. Anyway, so that's the proposal. When I was living in Northern Ireland, when I would go to Hermitage, the brothers, we take 2 or 3 days every month. But what would happen when I would get to my destination, I would stop the car and I would open the door or the window, and the silence would just hit me. Have you ever had that where it's like this, whoa, it starts to like touch your soul. It's so deep. Now that was just the actual physical silence, but there's something about the reality of silence that can really touch our souls. There's something about it that we need, very much so. But then there's different layers of what actual silence, just mere physical silence, the absence of noise, or then silence of the soul. Because you don't have to go on to a hermitage to get silence. You don't have to go away to a small log cabin to get solitude. You can get it all over the place. In some ways, it's more a state of mind than a physical reality. I really believe that. And so does Catherine Doherty. But silence, true silence, it's not just where we can, encounter our pain or ourselves. Real silence, Catherine Doherty tells us, is not a lack of communication or the absence of communication. It is alive with communion. It is alive with communion, with connection with God. Can be. Like when I would stop the car arriving in Donegal, and the silence would just hit me like a gentle sponge. Slowly. It'd seep into my heart. So too in silence, if we will go there and if we will let it, we can really meet the presence of God, the gentle, inexorable presence of God, kind of relentlessness of his silence and his presence. You could be in solitary confinement in prison, no one coming in, seeing no one all day, and yet you could be bombarded with noise and voices, thoughts, with no true silence, and in a sense, no true solitude and no communion. Or you could be a stockbroker in Wall Street, craziness all day long, and yet you could be a soul wrapped in silence in that place. Silence isn't about the volume setting. It's about a state of mind. Am I willing to go? Do I want to go? Okay, so how do we see where we are with silence in our lives, and how do we grow in it and kind of practice this as a form of kind of prayer or just as a necessary aspect of our lives? Just look at your life. Okay, is there much silence in it? Not just the absence of sound or noise, but also being present to your heart, being present to the presence of God. Is there much of that going on? Am I purposely avoiding it? Is some of that going on? Just to be honest. And you don't have to make a big song and dance about it. Go, yeah, okay, maybe. Am I aware of my heart? Are you aware of your emotions? Just generally as you go through the day, because that's a big part of it too. Because if it can be, the avoiding of silence can be the escaping, the avoiding of ourselves, whereas the attentiveness to ourselves could mean that there's actually more silence in the true sense in our lives than we are aware. And here's a gem. Again, this is from Catherine Doherty. She says that silence sometimes is the absence of speech, but it is always the act of listening. Oh, what? What? It is always the act of listening. Now that's a cool one. That's the thing that changes an awkward silence into a moment of revelation. That's the thing that changes this painful, like, oh no, I don't want to go there because there's stuff's coming up and I don't know how to deal with it. into this place of, there's some truth, there's some key that's emerging here that could really bring transformation in my life, transformation in my relationship with God. This could be a moment when God is saying something to me, life transformative. And can I listen for that until the word slowly emerges? Almost like a child being born sometimes. It's rare a child is born without pain being involved. I'm feeling really uncomfortable right now, said the mother on the birthing couch table thing. Not the easiest thing in the world to do, give birth to a child, but worth it, apparently. Catherine recommends that we be attentive to the moments, the points of departure in our day. The little pauses, the little spaces. We don't have to have hours and hours of silence. The waiting for the bus, the time in the car when we're on our own, turn off the radio, the coffee break, the walk, the little breathers. Can we not just look at those as a physical experience of a break, but also a listening, a turning of our heart in the silence, in the pause, in the breath. God is, as Jesus said, of the kingdom of God, God is close at hand. He's within reach. We just have to reach out and grab those moments, those points of departure in our day, because they're little portals to heaven through which God is coming to us. God bless you.